we're getting ready to actually build our bridge, build our design that we spent all that hard time and work and effort designing in Onshape. We got our printouts done. These I printed at home, so I only have them on small sheets of paper. I couldn't get the full truss on there, but that's good. So we got our printouts done. I have a piece of cardboard, almost don't have a piece of cardboard, that I am going to be using to staple everything down. Amazon boxes work great for this. If you can get like 2 or 3 pieces thick, that's even better. Kind of tape them around the edge. That works as well. I went to my wife's craft supplies and found some push pins. These are going to help for holding our pieces down. I went to the kitchen, found some wax paper. Use wax paper, not saran wrap, not any freezer paper, wax paper, and you're going to see why in a minute, but wax paper. I got my bottle of glue. You could be using the green glue, that's perfectly fine, but any kind of glue is going to work. Don't need a ton of it, just need some glue. Glue stick isn't going to work very good though. Got my sticks that I got from school. You didn't pick these up yet, gotta make sure to pick them up. Call the office, get them picked up. I got one of the most important things. Bridge building runs on Dunkin'. Gotta have my coffee here just to keep me going. Got a piece of paper towel, that's gonna help me out with the glue. And I got my handy dandy stapler. And we're ready to go. First thing that we have to remember, our bridge is working on efficiency. So what we mean by that is, if I have a 20-gram bridge, so I take all my parts and throw them up here. If I have a 20-gram bridge and I have a 40-gram bridge and they hold the same amount of weight, the 20-gram bridge wins the competition. And we all want to win, right? There's always something fun about winning. So make sure you're trying to go for efficiency, trying to get as light a bridge, so use as little of these sticks as possible to get a light bridge that holds a lot of weight. We learned how to make that, design that, so we're ready to go. I'm gonna get some of this stuff out of my way here right now. Set out for the bridge. I printed out on one sheet, or these single sheets. This piece right here has to go on top of this piece, and it kind of matches up about right there, but not perfectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold exactly down the edge of one of my braces. Now I can match that up perfectly and cover the middle brace. So you can match that up and put a little piece of tape there if you want, but this is where I'm going to use the stapler. So I want to match that perfectly up so it matches perfectly there. I'm going to put it down on my board. So I have it down on my board, open up my stapler, and I'm going to staple in 6 spots. Now I have my bridge on my piece of cardboard. Now here's where the wax paper comes into play. If you take a look at this wax paper, the cool stuff about this is glue doesn't stick to it. So I lay it over the top. Now I can see through it, but no glue. If you're a messy person, you might want to put 2 pieces of wax paper down, because you don't want to have to reprint. And I know myself, it's time for 2. 2 pieces of beautiful wax paper there over the top of everything. Do not just skip this step and glue right on here, because paper and wood glue together with this glue and they turn into a big mess together. So I'm gonna lay this out on here nice. Come back to Mr. Stapler. And staple the wax paper down in all the areas outside your regular paper so we don't have holes for glue to see through. Don't need this, but I do need this. All right, open up the pins and you're gonna see what the pins are doing here in a second. Open up my sticks. Be careful not to break them. I might need some long length. And I'm gonna start out doing my longest pieces first and then filling in with the short ones. So I'm gonna start out right here and right here. And there's my long piece. I'm gonna go a little bit longer. I'm just gonna bend it to break that off. Now it's not perfect angles by any means or perfect length, and that's fine. I'm gonna take one of my pins, lay it down on there, and I'm just gonna make a little mark on it. What perfect length is. So now I just made a little tiny mark. And then I take the sandpaper and I sand it down to that mark. And here's where the pins come in place. Now you can pin straight through the wood and into the bottom, but, so I could pin straight through to hold it in place, but anytime you go through this material, you're gonna end up with a little hole in there and it's gonna make it a little bit weaker. So what I like to do is I pin at an angle across and then at an angle across. And I'll show you that up close here in a second. Then I'm going to come to this end, add an angle across, add an angle across. So you can see I pinned and it's holding it without putting a hole in it. And that's how I start laying that out. Now I'm going to go to my next longest piece and I'm going to speed this up so you don't have to watch this process quite so fast. So slow. Now I'm going to show you a little bit what I do right here. So I'm going to put this over the top, and I'm going to mark these two angles. You can do this with a pencil, or you can do it with a pin. Either way works. Now I got my two angles marked on it. Now I just break it off a little bit long. And I sand to those angles. Check it for fit. I like it. I'm going to put a pin. A couple pins. And if you notice, I'm keeping my pins away from the joints so I don't get glue that go down through the pinholes. And that's how I set up an angled piece like that. Now let's talk about glue. So if you notice here, I took and I pinned these two long ones down really good. I've got pins on each side. This one here, I have two pins going one way, but I only have one pin going the other way. So when I release this pin, I can slip this piece out real easy. Set it back in, no problem. Glue. The less glue you use, or if you use the right amount, you only need a small little dot in each spot. If you get too much glue, that's the right amount of glue. You get too much glue on this system, it doesn't ever dry. So I'll put that back in there. I held it. Now that's gluing. A little bit of squeeze out right there, a little bit of squeeze out up there, and that's all you need. Bum, ba, ba. All done. A couple things that I noticed was I tried to only have one angle. If I had to adjust anything, I'd make sure it was just hitting one area. I tried to keep the pins away from the exact joint if possible, and I tried to keep pinning up higher. Now I'll let this sit and dry, take this off, and do an exact replica so you can see how our truss came together. I'm super happy with how that turned out.